So today I am going to attempt to make some mushroom Wellingtons. I'm going to take this recipe from the Healthy Bosh book. If you haven't checked that out, do so because it is absolutely fantastic. Okay, so wish me luck. Okay, so the first step is to peel and cut your potatoes. These are Maris Piper potatoes, the 6 here, and I'm just going to quarter these now. Okay, so that's quite a lot there. There's only going to be me having this, so I will use some of this to food prep for the rest of the week. So there we are, they're quartered, and now it's time to move on to the carrots and the parsnips. Okay, so that's the carrots and the parsnips peeled and chopped. I'll move on to the Brussels sprouts next, which I'm just going to trim and then cut in half. The Brussels sprouts have been trimmed and cut in half. As you can see, there is quite a lot of food there. So this is actually meant to feed 4 people. So I'll probably do a video of like food prep in the future. If you'd be interested in that, leave a comment below. Okay, so whilst I'm waiting for the potatoes to parboil, I'm gonna crack on with the gravy. Okay, let's get on that gravy train. Okay, so this is everything I'm gonna use for the gravy. I've got maple syrup here, some yeast extract, some vegetable stock, olive oil, garlic. I know, man, I'm lazy. What about it? Come at me. We got 2 small red onions cut up. We got our tomato puree here, and we got some plain flour as well. You can also use cornflour. That's going to be our thickening agent. Okay, so let's carry on. Okay, they've been on there for about 6 to 7 minutes now, so I'm going to take them off the heat and drain them. Give the potatoes a good shake as well. Get them nice and fluffy before we put them into the bowl with the olive oil and the salt. So I'm going to actually measure out the oil. So it's a tablespoon of olive oil. And the reason I'm doing that is just sometimes we have a tendency that we can just go sort of like a little overboard with the olive oil. This is supposed to be a healthy recipe, so I want to make sure that I'm not overdoing it as far as the fats are concerned. Okay, so we're just going to add this to the pan. We're going to do the same here into this bowl in preparation for the potatoes. So we're just going to drop the oil in, and we'll add a little bit of salt. Okay, so we continue with the gravy. Just going to cook these onions down. I'm going to fry these for about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so I forgot to add the pepper before. So I've transferred the potatoes to another bowl. Just going to add the carrots and the parsnips to the bowl that the potatoes were in. No worry about cross-contamination here as it's all veggie. So here we go, let's get that coating done. Okay, next we're just going to place the potatoes one side down on a baking tray. Space them out nicely. Back to the gravy. I'm going to add my Sheets garlic. I'm going to stir that for about a minute. Next, we're going to make a little slurry. To 1 tablespoon of flour. Okay, so I'm going to give that a mix. Okay, so I'm going to add the slurry, the tomato puree, and the yeast extract. Okay, let's give that a stir. Okay, so as you can see, everything's combined there. It's now time to add the wine. Okay, so the wine's going in. We've got about 300 ml of red wine there. We're just going to let that cook out for 4 to 5 minutes. Before we forget, let's add in our maple syrup. Okay, so the final part of the gravy is to add the vegetable stock. We've got 350 ml here. And then we just simply got to leave it to do its thing, let it bubble away, and make sure that we are attentive to it and that we're stirring, coming back to stir regularly. Let's get that heat up. Let's crank the heat up. So I've placed the potatoes in the oven. I'm going to roast them for 40 minutes. Okay, so we're going to build the Wellington parcels now. Okay, that's the rosemary and thyme in. A little mix. Okay, so next I'm going to combine the bread, pecan and chestnut mixture into here, and I'm just going to fold that in and just let it thicken. Okay, so next it's time to prep the mushrooms. Okay, so to make things easier for myself, I'm going to use my lazy garlic again. I'm going to put some into the mushrooms, and I'm just going to spread it into the gills, and then I'm going to bang this into the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. And into the oven they go. Hi guys. It doesn't look very appetizing at this moment in time, but I'm hoping once we combine it with the phyllo pastry and the portobello mushrooms that it's going to look a lot more appetizing. Right, so time to build the mushroom Wellington parcel. It's going to take 4 sheets of phyllo pastry. I got this one from Tesco. It's a vegan one, so fantastic. Okay, so we're going to take 4 of these and then cut them in half. Okay, so I'm going to cut it right down the middle. Right, so I'm going to take some of the mixture here, place it in the center of my parcel, and then I'm just going to spread it out into a 1 centimeter disc. From there, I'm going to take my mushroom. I'm going to take some more of the mixture and I'm going to fill the cup of the mushroom. Just flatten that down a little bit. Still got a little bit more here. And then we're just going to bring the sides up and form a little parcel. Okay, so I made enough to make 3 of these. The recipe was actually for 4. So let's just see how this thing turns out. I've never made this before, so let's just take a look. No expectations, man. No expectations. Right, so before I whack these in the oven, I just need to give them a little spray with some oil. Okay, and then we'll get moving them to the oven. Right, so finally we get to put our parcels into the oven. We're going to go in for 20 minutes at 180 degrees. I'm going to stick these in for another 20 minutes, get a bit more colour on them. Okay, and that's it. So time for the taste test now. I'll let you know how it is. I'm just going to sit down with a glass of wine and I'm going to enjoy this thing. Let me know what you think about this if you follow the recipe. Thanks again for Bosh for sharing this stuff and for putting this recipe together and putting it in your healthy Bosh book. I will definitely be cooking up more of these things. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit the like button and I'll see you soon. Bye.